This is the neighborhood, my hood. So we're just gonna go to my old street, and we're gonna go to where my first coach was. He had like a little makeshift gym in the backyard. This is like what? So the first day I got in the ring, it was terrible. I felt so tired. I felt like I was out of shape. I felt like, what was I signing up for? Like, what? I just knew like I could fight. So I was like, oh, getting in the ring, putting on gloves. I know I could fight. Like, so yeah, let's do this. That was the longest 3 minutes of my life. And now it's like those 3 minutes go by so fast. I'll be like, what? It's already been 3 minutes? It's just crazy. Boxing started off as a workout for me. And I didn't see myself really competing in it. My niece was boxing first, and then I went to the gym with her. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like this. The second day I went to the gym, I actually had an opportunity to get in the ring. And I was like, I know how to fight, so I can do this. But but that was the day that I got my first black eye. This boy hit me. He hit me right in my eye, and I was motivated. I was motivated to beat him up. I thought it was gonna be easy. I thought fighting was gonna be easy. I watched boxing before. I was like, I could do that. But it was difficult. It was harder than I imagined. This is where it all started for me. Like this was our gym. This is where Coach T and I met and got the ball rolling. The first time I threw a proper jab, the first time I threw a 1-2, it was in this backyard. So yeah, I used to walk from my house right to the gym. And I trained for him for a couple months, and then life started lifing, and I ended up going to the Glenville Recreation Center. That's when I met Coach Push and Coach Joe. It was Coach Joe and Coach Push. And this is where I started, guys. I just want to show that my community was a big part of my success story. Just knowing that people are looking up to me, and the little girls are seeing me come from here. And now they're talking about, I see you on TV, I see you on TV. It's just such an amazing journey. And this is just a piece of the beginning of my story. Once I came to the Glenville Recreation Center, the coach, my coach now, Coach Push, he was like, what you doing? We getting ready to compete. And I'm like, oh, I want to compete? Like, I was fired up. I was like, yes, I want to compete. I want to see how it is. I want to do it at least one time. That was my main goal, to do it at least one time. But it became a bag of chips. You can't just have one chip.
When she first started training, she was dedicated, strong. Used to have her working with a lot of the guys, and they was like, Coach, all right, I know she's a girl, man, but she's coming too hard. Coming here, she didn't have no females to spar with, so she sparred with all the guys. So, I mean, all boxers got this and that, but she real passionate about it. And then she listened. So I could say, oh, do this and do that, and she go out and do it. I mean, whether she executed or not, she gonna typically try to do it.
My sisters was like, girl, you got to sign up to get punched in the face? Like, I'm like, yeah, that's not the goal. Like, we don't want to get punched in it happens, but the goal is to punch somebody else in the face. My friends, they're like super girly girls. They like, I can't do it, girl. We gonna come watch and support you, but me, I can't do it. So they didn't like the idea of like the fighting aspect behind it and like the roughness, the getting punched, all that, but they definitely supported the movement. It's like, if this is what you want to do, girl, just move your head.
I didn't really like it because she's my daughter. And then I saw her skills and I said, okay. She reminds me sometimes, she talks like Muhammad Ali. When she first started, and it was only boys. I went up there because she came back, she had a cut right here or something. I was like, she a girl. And they said, no, Ma, she's a fighter. And that's when I knew. And I said, I have to stay out of this. This is her thing.
I started boxing at the end of my 17 years old, beginning of 18. And I thought I was just regular. And then I started like seeing my like little teammates, and they was like, I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. And I'm just like, am I late? I thought I was like super late to the party, but come to find out I'm not late, I'm right on time. We just arrived at my high school. As you guys know, I've been boxing since my senior year in high school. So this is a very, very sentimental place to me. And I want you guys to come check it out. Come with me, guys. This is where I started, guys. This is my alma mater. Tar Bloodder forever. Like, y'all see the royalty on the wall, and then it's me. You see that? Who else? Like, what? It's nothing but greatness that walk these halls. Of course I was gonna be great, duh. This is where I used to play basketball, y'all. Like, I never saw myself as a boxer. I thought I was going to the WNBA, and then I realized I wasn't growing anymore. This is as far as I got. Oh my gosh, this school has helped me so much. When I came to this school, I really didn't really care about my education for real. And then like I started meeting people that were just like, no, if you want to be somebody and you want to go somewhere, you have to put in that work. And they always instilled that into us. Like, this is not the end, this is only the beginning. I've met some beautiful teachers, and even beyond the high school walls, like when I graduated, my teachers used to come to my fights, and I used to be like, what? Y'all love me like that? I just feel like my whole upbringing, my whole journey from middle school, high school, the neighborhood, I just feel like it just really prepared me for adversity. And when you go to different countries and you go to different elements, you're just thinking like, dang, I wish my people was here. But because you have to be strong to survive in Cleveland, it definitely prepared me for my future endeavors. Like, I just feel like, just thinking back on my entire life, like everything that I've been through has prepared me for this moment now, this moment for the gold.
Morelle could fight from a child. She could fight. She was not a bully. We lived in an area that was kind of rough, so sometimes she had to fight. We've lived in various neighborhoods, mostly poor, and with that comes what you get, you know, robberies, muggings, and I'm so proud of her. She did not gravitate towards the bad stuff. She was focused and saying, no, I'm getting out of here.
This is my neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that made me strong. It's not for the weak. Cleveland is not for the weak. It's definitely just one of those places that just show you how tough you really are. So yeah, I used to live in this house right here, guys. It's all boarded up now. So crazy. My room was the attic. It was like a super hot room. Like, I hated every moment of it, but it was the biggest room in the house. Yeah, I remember my little dog I used to have living over here. Growing up, it wasn't easy. We had a very, very unstable childhood. I'm number 7 out of 8, and just knowing like me being one of the youngest, like my brothers and sisters made me super tough. Like, no, you're not crying about this. Like, so I just know like everything in life prepared me for this moment now. Like, you don't see it like that until you look back in the past. Like, thank you for pushing me down the stairs. I appreciate it. I'm just joking. Nobody pushed me down the stairs that I can remember. They probably did, but I don't remember. In all actuality, it just prepared me for all the challenges because we're all on daily fights. I just so happen to do it as a profession. Losing my brother, that's probably like one of the hardest things that I faced in life. This is one of my best and worst places. Unfortunately, this is where I lost my brother. He drowned tragically in that lake over there. So yeah, and I'm just grateful that I can still have him a part of my journey and show you guys like, yeah, this is where it happened. This is the city I love. So it's such a bittersweet moment, and I'm just gonna take a picture of us to Paris. So he's not gonna be too far away from me. So yeah, it was my senior year in high school. The year I started boxing, he was able to like come to my first fight, and he was just so excited. He was walking around the neighborhood with the belt on, and I'm just like, take it off. And you know, like you at the moment, I just remember how like funny and irritated, like you just really wearing it. And now I just really appreciate that moment, because that's just like a core memory for me, like how happy he was to see me fight, and just knowing like we came such a far way. And I wish he was here to see how far we came, but I know he's here with me in spirit. So just knowing like he's not physically here, but he's spiritually here, it's an amazing feeling. Of course, I wish he was still here so he could see like, wow, this hard work did pay off. And he never even knew about the Olympic dream, but he was just like, you're gonna be the greatest boxer. You gotta do this. Like, he was in the kitchen telling me like, you gotta do this, you gotta, and I'm just like, just thinking back on those moments where I was just like, I'm glad I got up and allowed him to show me. Cause I'm like, you're not even my teacher, like, but I allowed him to just show me like what he knew about boxing. And like those moments, you just be like, you don't think of them at the time, but you get thankful for them. Oh my God. Okay. All right. In life, you face adversity, but you have to not only get through it, you got to grow through it. So I just think like everything that I've been through growing up has allowed me to become resilient. That first fight, I like fell into the ring a little bit. So it was just like, I felt so dumb. But it got the nerves that was in me like immediately disappeared, because I was like, oh my God, I'm like so embarrassed. My opponent is over there looking like she about to destroy me. And that was my first fight, and I ended up winning, and the feeling was like unbelievable. It was like, oh my God, hard work paid off, because we was working hard. Oh my God. I just remember that first real camp that we had, and the boys was just beating me up, and I was beating on them too, so. But I loved it. And I was just determined, because like I had nothing but like male teammates around me, and they was like, nah, you got this, you got this. Like they just was like, nah, because you don't hit like a regular girl. Like you got this. And I'm just like, I got this. So after I won my first fight, I think I had like a few competitions after that, maybe. But then my brother passed away, I moved away. So I stopped boxing for a little minute, like, and then I came back because I was just missing it. Like, I want to see how far I can get with it. And the Olympics wasn't my goal still. I remember my coach like threw a fight show, and I ended up winning, and someone saw me and they was like, well, what is the next step for your fighter? Talking to my coach. And basically he was like, well, she could start this Olympic team journey, but she had to go to nationals. I'm fresh out of high school, and you know, like, you young, you don't got money for that. Like, nationals is like a week long. That means you need a week of hotel, a week of transportation, a week of meals. Like, he was like, yeah, if you want to pay for her, she needs to be at nationals. And that's when the Olympic journey started. Somebody paid for that. Shout out to Darnell Johnson. That really opened my eyes up to the Olympic journey. Like, I've heard of it. I've seen, like, I know Tiger. I knew, like, Terrell did it, but I didn't know in depth what it took. And I really didn't know if that's what I really wanted to do. Because I was in school at the time. I was in school for engineering, business. I was like, I'm gonna do something. I don't know if it's gonna be boxing, but I'm gonna do something. But I've always came back to the road of boxing. And I said it in my mind, like, you only young for moments in your life, and I could go back to school later. And I was blessed to have that opportunity for my nationals to get paid for. And I ended up winning. I ended up like, what? I was like, not gonna lie, that's probably the most nerve-wracking fight that I've ever had, because when I went down there, everybody knew everybody. Like, yeah, I know you from youth. I know you from this. I'm just like, okay, I don't know anybody. But everybody was just like, oh yeah, this girl that you about to fight, she been around. She just won worlds and all of that. And I'm just like, bring it. I love the challenge. Went out there, we won. I got the ball rolling.
Initially, I don't think that wasn't never really like the plan. It was like, we was just taking one milestone at a time. And like she said, she never really even thought about fighting. So she would just bring her niece and nephew to the gym. So her stepping in the ring was like one milestone, and then boom. And then from there, she just one milestone after the next, like competing right there. And then she started competing in the national tournaments. So she competed in the national tournaments. That was milestones there. And then she won one national Golden Glove, and then another, like 4-time national Golden Gloves. So I think she got a record for that. And once she's there, I'm like, man, you there.
She opened up the pathway for the fighters in the city. I'm pretty sure you guys are all familiar with Tiger and all the other people that's from Cleveland that fought there, but she was the one that actually opened that pathway. She showed us how to get there. And once she started to, bring home medals, pretty sure all of us was like, yeah, we want to be a part of that.
Oh, it was great. Like, this year, start winning the national tournament. Like I said, coming from here, you gotta just lock everything out and zone in. And she did a great job of doing that, coming from our environment. A lot of stuff going on out there in the streets and stuff, being around there to actually stay focused and lock in and stay disciplined in what she wanted to do. I mean, and look at where she at now.
So they invited me to camp, and when I got down there, I didn't know, coming from Ohio to Colorado Springs, the air was totally different. Like, I felt it the first probably minute and a half of the first round, and I was just like, wow, this is different. And then, like, their style of teaching was totally different. It was nothing that I was used to. And then I didn't have my coach, so it was just totally out of my element. And then you start questioning, like, I'm not keeping up with the stuff that they want me to do. Like, your brain sometimes works against you because you have to think rational. Of course, this is something new. This is something totally new, but in my mind, I'm second guessing my own talent. And I remember one of the coaches coming up to me like, you have to allow yourself to learn. And I was just like, oh, not allowing myself to learn. I just want to get it right then and there. Fortunately, I was working with like some teammates that was already on the team. Like, no, this is how you're supposed to do it. Like, and then I was working with some of the coaches that was down there, and they was just like, come after practice, we can practice this in the gym. Like, if you really want to learn and you really want to develop into an Olympic style boxer, you have to put in that extra work. And I was just like, I don't mind putting in the extra work. I just need to know what I'm doing and how I need to do it. So I was on a travel team in 2019. So that was like my first real introduction to like Team USA. My first tournament was Bulgaria. I ended up placing third in that tournament, and I had two really great fights before I placed third, and I was just like, First of all, I was fighting out of my weight class because I'm 66 kg now, and I was fighting 75 kg. And if you know anything about that weight class, you know those girls are big. Like, those girls are tall. Like, they were just towering. Here go me. I'm all the way down here. They over here, and I'm just looking up like, yeah. I'm tiny, but I'm mighty, and I'm about to beat you up. I fought at the Olympic trials at 165, and I came up short to Naomi. That was the introduction of me being an Olympic alternate. The feeling of being an alternate, it was just like, oh, I'm alternate. I need to be an Olympian. It definitely motivated me. I was still working at the time. I was going to camps when I could, but I was coming back home immediately, like working, doing doubles. And I was just the alternate, so I wasn't at camp as much as the Olympian. So I was just like, yeah, I can't keep coming here and not getting paid, and I still have like bills at home. I can't go home and not have a home. I can't be homeless and still try to be the best boxer that I need to be. Like, it's just not gonna work. But I knew, like, once I made boxing my sole focus, I knew like I was gonna be a champion. And now we're here at the first college that I went to, which is Cuyahoga Community College. Shout out to my community college members. Boop, boop, boop. It just prepares you for the bigger step, for the university step. And I loved Tri-C. Like, those were like some of my best teachers. Balancing school, work, and boxing was a full-time job in itself. Like, it was super difficult. I remember working third shift, going to school first shift, hopping back, going to the gym second shift, but picking my client up during second shift and taking her to the gym with me. Like, I remember just grinding. I remember I fell asleep at a stoplight, and I knew like I was exhausted. I need to balance my life better because this is dangerous. I don't want to fall asleep at the stoplight. But I remember like how exhausted I was, having finals and wanting to go to nationals and still having to work because bills have to get paid. The importance of getting an education was just breaking those barriers in my own family. Like, none of my immediate family, none of my sisters and brothers really went to college. So I wanted to be that first person to be like, listen, we can do this. I can do this. Just for the next generation. Like, I got my nieces and nephews coming up, and I just wanted to be that person that did it. Like, when you see the other side of life and you see these Black doctors that look like you see these Black lawyers, and you see these successful Black people, because it's one thing to see successful people, but it's another thing to see successful people that look like you. And that just gives you so much motivation. Just to know, like, I can be an inspiration to young girls from where I'm from, and I go back to my neighborhood and they like, wait, you was just in Italy? Well, how you know? Like, we saw it on your social media. How was that? Like, they are genuinely excited and curious because they like, wait, you've been places. Tell us more. I'm like, girl, you can go too. You just gotta wanna go. If you wanna go, you're gonna go. You just gotta stay on the right path and work hard, go get that education, stay out of them little boys' faces, and persevere. Like, that influence that I got when I was younger, and I'm now that influence to other people, and it's just such an honor. I fought at the next nationals in Shreveport and I won, so I was granted the spot for the Worlds camp. Worlds was fun, despite like the outcome. I came up short to Turkey, and I'm glad I experienced that. Like, the whole crowd booed me because I was fighting the Turkish girl. And I was just like, oh wow, so this is what it feels like to be booed by a whole stadium. Hi. And I just think more so back on it, like it prepared me for like the journey. Now, like I'm not going in it like, oh, I've never been here before. Like I've been on big stages before. I've been where the crowd hated us. I've been where you just had to just remember who you are and just go out there and do it. The European tour was so hectic. The European tour was hectic, but it was fun just going to those different, like we were literally on tour to beat people up. Like some people tour for music, I toured to beat people up. So it was fun. It was a little bit different. It really challenged our drive through adversity, because going from one country to the next country, still working out to the next country. Like we went from Finland to Germany to Czech Republic. It was a lot, but it was in preparation for the Pan American Games. Going into Pan Ams, I knew that they were only taking the top 2 for my weight class. So I'm like, I want number 1 for sure. I need my ticket to Paris. We had an international camp before then, and I was just like, I cut out a lot of the distractions that I had. I was meditating more, just getting my mind right and not trying to overthink it and still just enjoy the moment. We got down to Pan Am. My first fight, I stopped somebody. So I'm just like, yeah, we getting this ball rolling. In the semifinals, for me, I won against Canada. I got my ticket in the semifinals. Whew, receiving that ticket, it was just like, wow, I got the golden ticket. I got the It was just like such a surreal moment. And just, I looked down at the ticket and I was just like, wow, hard work pays off. And I was just calling. I called my mom. I'm like, oh yeah, we going to Paris.
I was screaming. I was thanking us. Screaming. I was so happy and excited for her. She fought for this, and she made it to qualify. And that beautiful smile, I was so happy for her.
I remember like it was yesterday, for real. We was all in the gym watching it on the TV. I was jumping around, me personally, because I'm like, yeah, she did it. She's a sister, so she, she talks about the things that she wants and how she gonna do it. To see all of that come true, it was special.
It was joyful. So we was doing a regular routine. We were all at the gym. So I pulled it up on the phone. We all watching, and we was like, we all just going crazy. Like, hey, oh yeah, she made it. Like I asked her before, I'm like, man, you do me one thing, just qualify. I don't care what you get, just qualify. And she did. She rung it home. So I was proud of that.
Coming from, Cleveland, not many people really achieve a lot. So to be an Olympian, that's like, it means a lot. It shows the young girls, even the young boys, that anything that you put your mind to is possible.
I think it's big for the community, and I think it's big for the other young black females in the area, just to see that a sport dominated by men, that a woman can do it too.
This is literally my ticket to Paris. Like, I'm an official Olympian, but I knew I had another fight, so I had to like minimize the celebration because I still wanted gold, even though I got my ticket in the semi. And I came up short, which was that was a very emotional fight for me in the finals, because I was really like struggling through adversity in that fight. My thumb was, oh my gosh. I instantly after the Pan American Games, I went into a cast. So I was having like major hand problems during that whole ordeal. So I was just facing adversity through all of that, which I'm grateful for, even though I came up short. I'd rather that happen there than happen at the Olympics. Now you see my hands, they better. Just knowing like I'm going into the Olympics mentally and physically better is just an amazing feeling. It means everything to me. To be an Olympian, it's like when you look at the history books of Olympians, like I'm a part of that class too, okay? I'm a part of that class with the greats like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. Like just going back in history, like what? The 2012 Olympics was the first time women were able to box in the Olympics. So just knowing like we're still breaking barriers and we're still knocking down doors, it's an amazing feeling to be essentially a part of that.
I'm so proud of her. She's overcome a lot of obstacles and she stays focused. That's what I admire most about her. Her strength, her mental, emotional, physical strength. She's inspiring. She wants to help other kids, make it possibly to Team USA, and keep it going.
The last words I say, is like I say, stay focused, stay locked in, stay disciplined, and come summer games this year, bring that gold medal back.
I'm just proud of her, and we gonna bring home gold.
Keep being you. You're special. Throughout the years, you never treated me like I was less than or more than anyone. You treated me equally, and I love you.
I'm glad that you keep accomplishing all your goals. We just want her to keep winning and winning over and over again until she feel accomplished.
You got this. We are behind you. I'm very proud of you and your accomplishments, and you're very inspiring to me and to others. And go, Mo.
Of course, thank you to my family. A big thank you to my coach, Coach Terrence, Coach Push. Like, oh man, words can't describe how blessed and thankful I am for the love and support. Even on the days where I didn't feel like being the star that I am, they constantly reminded me like, nah, if you say this is what you want to do, you got to get out there and do it. When I win this gold in Paris, I just want to just be like, this is what our hard work did. Because this is not only for myself, this is for everybody that loves and supports me. Because being an athlete is all fun and games, but on those days where you don't feel like it, you remember those people who made the sacrifices for you. You remember those people that support you, and it gives you enough strength to get up and do it again and do it again and do it again. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I just want to say I love you guys, and this has been an amazing journey, and we're going to the Olympics, but this is only the beginning of this journey. So thank you guys.